All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Headline Hits with LW. Hope you're all having a good morning, good afternoon on the East Coast. It is December 24th, 2021, Christmas Eve. It is Friday. Everybody is scrambling, trying to get ready for tomorrow. I know I'm getting ready to fire up my smoker and put the turkey in the smoker, and I'll smoke it for a good part of today, and then in the oven it goes for tomorrow. I know a lot of you you have turkeys for Christmas. Some people like doing hams. It's just another American holiday where we can eat way too much, in my opinion. But I won't complain. So I'm going to go ahead and get started in the news here. Again, welcome to Headline Hits. So first off, I'm going to start off with our most popular president of all time. And then, like I said, toward the end of this, the very last two or three stories I have, you'll want to stick around. Some of them are tear jerkers, and one of them will really just make you think. All right. So, China declares Biden administration has failed in his first year. So old China Joe, he's not getting any kind of help from anybody, staffers, uh, Democrats, China, Russia, you name it. This guy, for the most popular president of all time, with the most votes of all time, sure seems to be having a hard time keeping his head above water. You just can't make this stuff up. I've never seen a flop like this in all the years that I've paid attention to politics, which I got involved in politics at a pretty young age. I followed them for a long time, even in high school. Probably my senior year is when I really started paying attention. Of course, listening to my father and my grandfather talk about politics and what it was to be a Republican and stuff. Even before that, and I just have always been interested in it. So to see an administration like this fail at not at so many levels. This administration is failing at every level. Every level. It is mind boggling why we're here. China's state run Global Times. So remember, China is a communist country, and so they control everything that is put in the media, everything that's put in the paper, just like we are here in America. They control the media. So Wednesday, they declared the Biden administration has failed in its first year in office in the battle against the Wuhan sickness, especially the recent Decepticon variant outbreak. So they are pointing fingers at him, saying, you guys are doing a horrible job. What's your problem, Joe? Are you asleep at the wheel? The Chinese Communist Party newspaper dismisses Biden's plan to distribute 500 million at-home test kits and encourage vacation boosters is a placebo-like approach to too late is what they say. Man, he has just taken an absolute pounding. It doesn't matter which way that this clown turns. He's getting smacked with a 2x4 from whether it be the media or his own party or other countries, the Olympics. Man, I don't even think this guy could decorate Christmas cookies correctly without somebody beating him up. All right. So Cuba, I wanted to read you this because as Christians, we get prosecuted a lot. We get persecuted a lot. So this story here kind of touched me a little bit. Cubans face brutal repression this Christmas following the July protest. So what were they protesting about? Well, if you remember correctly, back in July and November of this year, they were in the streets by the hundreds of thousands, and they were protesting, saying, we want to end this communist regime. Let me repeat that. We want to end this communist regime. We have Cubans who come to America. They come here for a better life for their families. Why? as the same as Venezuela. They come here because of the communist rule and they want to get away from it. So then they come here and they see how us as Americans allow the things that are going on in our country to happen, and they scratch their head, they shake their heads, and they go, "What the hell? I thought that I was leaving a communist country to come to a free country, and I come here, and you Americans have no idea how dangerously you are treading on the precipice of allowing your country to slide into communist rule." Christians in Cuba are facing extreme repression and even more severe human rights violations than usual this year, as they engage in they engaged in these marches in July 11th protest, outrageous prison sentences, and Christians become an increasing visible part of the anti-communist movement. So they are pushing back, they're pushing hard in Cuba to make a difference in their country. And how are they repaid with that? More tyranny. Okay, this one I will no, that's not the article that I wanted. So this one here is, it's the looming the looming crap, I'll just say that word, over the world that ends on the December the 31st of this year. I don't think so. It's going to continue clear into 2022 and probably even further than that. But several of the world's free nations will greet their 2022 year under immediate threat of conquest, and being forced into all kinds of different situations, especially mandates and restrictions. But this article here is talking about what happened in Taiwan this year. So I want to bring that to your attention because China ramped up its campaign and diplomatic isolation and intimidation against Taiwan after the election of President Tasi Ing-wing. I can't even pronounce the name, but that's all right. 2016. And in 2021, China dramatically escalated its campaign of physical intimidation by sending warplanes. If you remember, we reported on this here at LWN. They sent warplanes into Taiwan's airspace, a record of 52 incursions in a single weekend just in October. They had 554 incursions between September 2020 to August 2021. So China making the move on Taiwan, and we talked about that. Why are they doing that? Well, Taiwan is, I think, one of the, if not the biggest makers of chips. Those chips that are needed, so I guess desperately in vehicles, cell phones, and you name it. Those chips are a big deal. So, that's a way for China to kind of push their weight, go in there and try to take over the country and have that under their hat for control. It's true. So moving on, CBS, cartels succeed in record delivery of youth. Listen to me. Record delivery of youth, child immigration in 2021. Okay, we're talking about the southern border quite often on this show, and we discuss on how devastating it is, how it affects our economy, our education, our health systems. And not only that, but all these children coming here, all these undocumented immigrants, the fact that there's possibility they're not being tested. They're also not being vacationed at the border. And then at the cover of night, they're shipped into our inner cities, our country all over. So what does this have to do with the administration? Well, President Joe Biden and his pro-immigration progressives admitted at least 40,000 coyotes delivered work-ready young male immigrants in 2021 under the excuse of saving unaccompanied alien children. So listen to that. 40,000 young men of the age of 17 to 18 years old have crossed our border, and this administration is just shuttling them right into our country, and it just it saddens me that we're allowing this to happen. It saddens me that people actually voted for this administration, voted for this guy, and all of this is to destroy America, in my opinion. And there's no good that comes out of this. You can't give me one good situation that comes out of this. Are there kids out there in the world that need our help? I absolutely believe that. But this isn't the way that we go about it. This is not the way we go about it. There is a legal way of doing it, and then there is an illegal way of doing it, and this obviously falls under that category. All right, I found this somewhat entertaining and comical. You got to realize who this is coming from and who this is going toward, and just wrap it in some nice little Christmas packaging and put a bow on it and slap it under the Christmas tree as a good comical relief and laugh. So it's reported that Kamala Hills Up Harris turns to, yes, Hillary Clinton for advice on winning public favor. Oh, and we all know that Hillary Clinton was the most liked female presidential candidate of all time. Everybody just loved her. So I would say that old Hills Up comes in for a striking number 2 at that list for also being loved by the people. I think as she ran as a candidate for president, not for VP, but for president, I think she got somewhere around 2 or 3% of the vote in her state. Or maybe that was even nationwide. That'd be even worse if it was only nationwide. So she was very unliked. And then she goes to Hillary and asks for advice. Kamala Harris, Hills Up, has sought the counsel of twice failed president candidate Hillary Clinton on the best way to reserve diving approval ratings while the same negativity on the trail of public life, according to the report on Thursday. Vice President has also concluded that she would get better treatment. Now, listen to this. Here we go. They always play the race card or they play the gender card. So she claims that she would get better treatment from the media if she was an old white male like her predecessors. So there she goes. She's playing to the left, like they always do, and always claim that, oh, poor me, poor me. They're picking on me. They're racist. They're this. They're that. No, ma'am, you're wrong on that. It's your personality. It's your record. It's your public service. It's all the stuff that you did in California or you didn't do in California. The people that you put in prison unlawfully. It's that's what the public love affair with you is all about. They love to hate you. So the census, this is, I find, very interesting, and I'll talk about it. I know there are some people here in my small hometown that watch me, and we have a lot of these same people moving here into our hometown, plus our state and other red states. So a census says that Americans flee left-wing lockdown states for open red states. We know that to be a fact. That isn't something that is a conspiracy theory. That is definitely fact. Blue states have repeatedly imposed the diaper mandates, the vacation requirements, and lockdowns over the last year, which have lost populations to the red states and have done away with such policies. So the red states have done away with all those policies, not 100%. There are places here in Idaho where they require certain things. But for the most part, at least here in my small town, I go anywhere, and I don't have to worry about it. Haven't for quite a while. Same with North Dakota. There's a lot of good states out there that don't abide by these. They don't comply. They don't consent to these mandates, right? And a lot of governors out there pushing back, like DeSantis and the rest of them. So there's record numbers of people fleeing all those blue states to come to the red states. So I want to talk to you people. I want to talk to you right now here on this broadcast. And I want to say this to you. We welcome you to these red states. We love you. If you're a true American, we love you even more. But let me be clear. Do not leave your blue states of the communist rule and come to my red state and start getting involved in my city councils and my school boards and my county commissioners and bring that crap to my state. You have fled that state for a reason, ma'am, sir. And so all I ask is if you're going to come here and accept our values and our morals for what they are. And do not, under any circumstance, think that you're going to come here and bring all your liberal, left wing leaning nonsense to my state or other red states and change us to a blue state. It's not going to happen. In my opinion, if that's your game plan, I suggest you pack your bags and head back where you came from. Okay, so I said what I had to say. Now, I wanted to give you guys a list of the 12 governments that are limiting Christmas festivities, the New Year celebrations. I mean, these countries are out of their freaking minds. They are back to lockdowns. The governments of 12 different countries worldwide have vowed to impose various restrictions on Christmas and the New Year's festivities in an effort to curb the sickness transmissions over the winter holiday season. Yep, a lot of people still buying into that BS. Malaysia, the Czech Republic, Scotland. These are places you don't want to go, folks, for the holidays. I'm telling you right now. And for those of you who are listening, who live in these countries, God bless you. And God's on your side. Wow. Canada, we all know that. Netherlands, Portugal, Germany, France, Norway, Lativa. I hope I pronounced that right. Iceland. Now, what the heck are you locking anything down in Iceland for? Everything's frozen. You would think the virus there wouldn't be able to survive. It's so damn cold. Indonesia. And, of course, the UK and the rest of them. So, anyway, that's a handful of them that I would suggest that you don't travel to over the holidays, right? Because they're planning on a bunch of lockdowns. Now, this one right here, again, gets under my skin, really pisses me off, but I'm trying to refrain my emotion and just say, you know what? I got to let things go. It's in God's hands. But, this is what divides us, and this is what really it draws a lot of attention to other religions, and it concerns me that people are out there preaching this. So a Canadian Amma, which is basically a priest of the Islamic faith, compares wishing Merry Christmas to congratulating murderers and pedophiles. Yeah, you heard it. You heard me right. That's what I said. Canadian Amma, whatever you want to call them, has put a sermon out stating that if you congratulate or say Merry Christmas to people, that you are doing that to murderers and pedophiles. He has called on Allah, God, to humiliate the infidels. Okay, now I'm not saying that all people who believe in the Islamic faith are bad people. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is there are extremists in every group. And this, to me, is an extremist. He's preaching it. He's saying that it is a disgrace to Allah if you say this, and it's a big sin to them. And that he wants Allah to destroy his enemy. And who's the enemy? Infidels. What's an infidel? An infidel is anybody that doesn't believe in their religion. So it's just concerning to me that we get censored for the things that we talk about. But this is out there all over. You can find it on Twitter. You can find it on Facebook. You can find it all over the place. And these people are not censored. That's another big concern of mine. Why are we being censored for what we're talking about, but yet people can put stuff like this out and it's acceptable? Okay, so I'm moving on to the next article, and folks, buckle up, sit down, have you a drink of coffee, because this one right here is something else that is a major concern to me. It pisses me off, and I believe it. Okay, I believe it. The more the days tick by here, the more that we're seeing what's going on. I'm starting to believe this, and there's a few things that Jeff B has put out there that I'm gonna have to say I think he's flying over the target, folks. So I know a lot of you probably already seen this interview with Candace Owens. You probably already know what I'm going to talk about, but man, I'm telling you, man, I'm fired up about this. Donald Trump touts that the sickness vacations and slams vacation mandates. Okay, so it's not really a contradiction there. He's treading carefully on what he says. Okay, and for those of you that are new to the show, sorry I'm talking in code. But with the restrictions here on YouTube, I have to, or they take us down. If you want to hear raw, if you want to hear uncensored talk, then follow us on Podbean at LWN Podcast, because I'm telling you, we can't say certain things here on YouTube, and it's frustrating. Former President Donald J. Trump promoted the efficiency of the vacations. And so in this interview with Candace Owens, he's taking credit for how quickly Operation uh, Warp Speed took off. He took credit for the 3 vacations that was created under his presidency. He kind of makes a joke about it, about how, they told him it would take anywhere from 5 to 10 years. He got it done in 9 months. And what he starts telling people, and this is the part that really gets to me, folks, is he starts telling people they have their freedom, and I get that. I know probably chat's blowing up right now. I can't see chat. I know some people will agree with me, and I know some people will disagree with me, and that's fine. You have your right to your own opinion, but I'm concerned about this. Now, I understand that he says that people have the right to their own choice and their own freedom, and I totally agree with him on that. But what he says is the vacation is one of the greatest achievements of mankind. Now, I have to disagree with that. And he also goes further to say that basically the people that are taking the vacation are not the ones dying. They're not the ones getting sick. He, on Candace Owens, is stating that more people need to get vacationed. You think I'm making this up? You can find the article. It's on the internet. You can go to Candace Owens and actually listen to the interview live. Um, the ones who get very sick. Now, listen to me. This is quote. This is quote. The ones who get very sick and go to the hospital are the ones that don't take the vacation. Trump continued, but it's still their choice. And if they take the vacation, they're protected. Quote. Now, that's the stuff that really fires me up. That's the stuff that sends off all kinds of red flags. Now, I know I don't always agree with Jeff B. I know Jeff B comes on, and he came on last night on the podcast on Podbean, and he brought up a executive order that he felt protected Mr. T from this. And I agree with what Jeff is stating, but this is my problem. And I'm not trying to debunk anything that Jeff's saying. I'm telling you, and I'm showing you word for word the quotes that Trump has put out there in this interview. And that to me is a staggering difference from what we've been believing in and what we've been um, hoping for, really. So he also goes on to say, look at the results of the vacation. They're very good. If you don't get it, it's a very minor form, the president added. People are not dying when they take the vacation. He's also gone further to say that he's had his boosters. And then the Biden administration also gives him credit this week about it. Biden said, Thanks to the prior administration for their scientific and the scientific community, America is one of the first countries to get the vacation. So again, folks, take it for what it's worth. Believe me or not believe me, form your own opinions. But I'm telling you, right there, it's right in front of your face. That's putting it right in front of your face. And I know a lot of people think that Trump is he's not out there promoting it, and he's not this, he's not that. It's right there, black and white, right in front of your face. All right, now this one is kind of a sad story that I wanted to bring up, but I also wanted to bring up the fact that it seems like some people slip through the cracks. Refugee to stand trial in 2022 for allegedly killing 5 U.S. Marine veterans and their spouses. And so, what this story is about is it's about a young man who came from the Ukraine. He's an immigrant. He came here, from what I can tell and read, legally. The U.S. gave him a green card, but what happened is once he got here, he started getting in some trouble. He's not convicted, but he is in jail right now, ready to go in front of the courts for negligent homicide, and for manslaughter charges and for DUI. So I kind of dug a little bit deeper on that and said, DUI, what's going on? What happened was he had a vehicle and he was hauling a trailer, and the trailer jackknifed or came unattached from the vehicle as a motorcycle group of veterans, United States Marine Corps veterans and their wives. They were part of a motorcycle club. They were traveling down the road. This trailer comes off the back of his vehicle or jackknifes, and unfortunately, it wipes them out. I think 7 total. This is the part that frustrates me. So when he came to America, he started getting in trouble. He's already had a DUI. He's also has some drug charges. And it seems like he may have been drinking that day. And it's unfortunate that these people have lost their lives. So, bad things happen to good people. And I would imagine that all these people riding the motorcycles were all good people. And it's unfortunate, but it is life. And I feel sorry when people can't get help for their vices, and then something like this ensues and people either get injured or worse, so pray for the families. Here's a good story. This one's kind of cute. I thought I would share this with you this afternoon. Kentucky man finds his missing cat alive in the rumble 9 days after tornado in Kentucky. It's a blessing, he says. So this little black cat was in his office, and the office is just a pile of rubble, to be honest with you. He said he was there just the other day, kind of picking through the rubble, and he hears a meow, and he's like, man, that sounds like my cat. And meows again. He can't really determine what direction to go to try to find the animal. And then some other people come and help him, and they ended up finding the cat in a little void down under all the rubble without a scratch on him. And so this man was very happy to get his animal back. And animals are just an extension of our family. So when bad things like that happen to any one of our pets, it's like something bad happening to our children. And so I'm thankful that this guy, found his cat. All right, here's another really great story. So I got 2 left, folks. Stick with us here. We're almost done. This one actually hits home. It's here in Idaho, and I found this on the old interweb. And it says, McDonald's worker speechless when Secret Santa gives her car. And he cares about you. So I'll read further on the story. So this lady came to America from El Salvador. Okay. She came here to America to give herself a better life. And that's what so many people do. They come here to America to give themselves a better life. So she came here to Idaho. She ended up getting married. She ended up having 2 beautiful children. And she started her own business. The American dream, right? Well, Some unfortunate things happened. There was some construction nearby where her business was, and it was a business called Las uh, Puplas. It was in Idaho Falls. I don't know how to pronounce the Spanish name, but I'm assuming it has to do with food, maybe. Um, anyway, so she had this business, and then some construction nearby uh, took over the street. And we all know as business owners, if you can't get to your storefront, you lose a lot of business. And that's exactly what happened to her. On top of that, then the sickness hit, and that really destroyed her business. So she lost her business. So she didn't quit. She didn't stay home. She didn't accept all the stimulus packages and the checks and live off the government. What she did was she rolled her sleeves up and she went to work. She went to work at McDonald's every day from 5 a.m. to 1 p.m. She worked her butt off. She had other jobs that she did as well. She worked really hard. So there was a secret Santa that paid attention to all this and showed up at work the other day and gave her some gifts. First gift that he gave her was $100 gift card, and then some movie theater tickets for her children to enjoy. And he also gave her $100 gift card to local restaurants. He also gave her a check for $1,000. And if that wasn't enough, obviously she had great gratitude for that. She didn't understand why she deserved it. This is a story that I told you could get a little emotional. Oh, thank you, she said, as she opened all the presents, all the boxes. But the moment Eaton showed her the car key, she was speechless. So they walked her outside, and parked outside in front of the McDonald's was a brand new vehicle. And of course, she broke down in sobs. She didn't understand why somebody could be so kind to her when she felt like she really did nothing to just deserve it, you know? And I think a lot of us feel that way in times in life where somebody does an act of kindness to us and we don't understand why. Well, I'm here to tell you, God uses people. There are angels on this earth. Sometimes they come in human form. And all I can say, Galena, is Merry Christmas. Just truly an amazing story of kindness. All right, here's the last one. Started getting choked up a little bit there. I just love hearing stories like that. Acts of kindness. So this story goes all the way back to the December of 1776. And I'm going to read this to you. And this is something I hope sets with you as we roll into the new year. America's first Christmas that changed the course of history. December 1776 was one of the darkest times for America. Hyperinflation gripped the economy. Washington's army lost one battle after another after another. The mood of the country changed from optimism to defeat. Kind of sounds like where we're at right now at times, right? A lot of us who come to this show, we're in the chat, we hear some of the dark things that we talk about, but some of these dark things are reality. There's no such thing as rainbows and unicorns all the time, folks. There are things that we have to talk about. There are things that we have to bring to light because it is our reality. So I kind of feel where these people were in 1776. I feel like we're right there with them at times. But on Christmas Day, Americans, amid the raging northeastern crossing, across the impossible ice-filled river, surprising and killed an unexpected trained army and changed the course of history. Thomas Paine epically captured the days leading up to Christmas of 1776 in the picture that he painted called The American Crisis, which is a picture of Washington on the boat. I'm sure a lot of you know the one I'm talking about as he's standing up as they're crossing the ice-filled Delaware. These are the times that try men's souls, Paine wrote. The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will, in this crisis, shrink from the service of their country. Let that sink in for a minute, folks. The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot. Those are the people who are in the fight when everything sounds so great and we're winning and there's a magic button and Trump's going to come back and everything's going to change and everything's going to be great. That's the summer soldier. That's the sunshine patriot. But it says their will in this crisis will shrink from the service of their country. But he that stands by it now deserve the love and the thanks of men and women. Tyranny, like hell, is not easily conquered. Let me read that one more time, folks, because that's exactly what we're battling. Tyranny, like hell, is not easily conquered. Yet we have to consolidate with ourselves that the harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph. So let me read that one more time. The harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph. So I've said this many a times on this show that there is nothing free, and freedom is not easy. We're going to have to bleed. We're going to have to sacrifice. We're going to have to give. Bottom line. This is not easy. It won't be easy. The task ahead of us is a mountain that we have to climb. But if we climb it together and we help pull each other to the top, we will be successful. I promise you that. I just thought I'd share that with you this morning. I thought it was relevant to our times and what we're going through right now. Keep the faith, folks. Keep the faith. We will win the battles. We will win the war. But it is going to be a hard road ahead of us, and we've just got to buckle down, roll up our sleeves, and go to work. So thanks for joining me for this edition of the Headline Hits with LW. I wish each and every one of you a very Merry Christmas to you and yours. And, we'll be back later this afternoon. We'll be on Podbean with Captain Finger and Tammy Nation. We're doing a Podbean later this afternoon at 3 Eastern. And then Tammy and I will be back this evening at 8 Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch for a Christmas Eve special. So join us then. All right. Love you all. Have a great day. We'll see you here in a few hours.